Okay.
And although this is week 10, this is our
Yep.
last week, but towards the end, I'm gonna share with you guys. There's a bonus I want to provide you guys, a bonus training. So I'll tell you about that more towards the end, but this may not be the last session, in other words.
Okay.
So cool. So I'm gonna share my screen. I got a little presentation today, nothing too crazy. If my There it goes, there it goes. Um, and oh, you know what? Let me hold on one second. My laptop's been a bit quirky here. Here we go. Okay. And let me share my screen. And my neighbor's mowing as well.
Well, I don't
So
even hear it at all. No.
okay, oh good. I'm like,
Nope.
really? At this time right now you gotta mow? Gotta love it. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you guys can see my screen here.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Okay. All right, you guys. So you guys are doing amazing. We're rocking and rolling. This is week 10, and let's jump right in. I'm super excited to kind of take us home a little bit here today. And I want to just, before we get into it, I want to just reiterate some of these really important identity questions we talked about last week. And man, are we going to kind of go even further with it today? Because I really want you guys to understand exactly what's happening and exactly how you can overcome it. Okay. So the idea here is, who am I is the most important question to ask. Who do I have to become in order to have your desire or your dream or your goal is part of that question, right? You're basically asking yourself, all right, who do I need to become to have this thing? Right? And then what do I have to give up in order to have it is the other side of that. With those two questions answered, it basically answers who you are becoming, right? And then to question yourself in the moment is, who am I being right now? Right? That's a brilliant question because you can use it in any scenario. And we're gonna go even deeper with that today. Okay, so stay with me, guys. It's gonna be really great and empowering conversation we have today in today's session. And of course, who am I being right now? And then how am I choosing to respond is a very similar question because life's gonna happen, guys, right?
Mhm.
The neighbor's gonna be mowing, right? I could be super mad, or I could be like, hey, it's cool. Hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. But the idea is, in any given moment, who you or how you respond has to do with who you are, right? So if you respond to any given scenario from the vantage point of who you are as the person you want to be, that's the magic right there, actually. And that's really what we're going to get into today is, all right, who am I becoming? And can I respond as that person right now? Right. So, again, we're going to get into this. It's going to be really cool. But there's this inescapable law that we really talked about last week, and we're going to go a bit deeper in today. And it's called the law of conformity. And it has to do with environment beats will. Remember how we talked about your environment is challenging your willpower and it will win every time, actually.
Mhm.
So I want to give you guys the other side of this though. And it's conformity. It has to do with acclimation. Okay? So I want to give you a quick example of this with this ocean metaphor. Okay? So we all live in the same ocean. Okay, we're basically these fish in the same ocean. But the idea here is, depending on the depth, will depend on what type of life lives there. Okay, what type of fish live there. So you got the coral, up on the coast, the coral reef lives kind of towards the surface, right? You've got the o other high surface level fish that live towards the surface. The deeper fish live deeper, and so on and so forth. Well, what's really interesting is the surface fish never meet the deep water fish, yet they live in the same ocean, right? So they just kind of stay around what they are acclimated to. Okay? This is going to make tremendous sense to you if it hasn't already. But the idea is if you're acclimated to being poor or in poverty or having lack, like lacking stuff, like with when it comes to money, you're likely going to be around those people that also struggle with that also haven't made a lot of money or complain about money and talk about money. It's all the words we're using, right? Whereas if you're wealthy and you're acclimated towards wealth, you're usually going to be around other people who are as well. And you guys are now talking about how fun it is to spend money and how awesome it is to go on the next vacation and all the things, right? Same thing with health, though. It's, if you're acclimated to power lifters, and again, we're going to talk about all sorts of cool stuff, but if you're on a team, a powerlifting team, and you're acclimated to that environment, then you guys are going to be winning together, getting stronger together, and doing all the things together, right? So the idea here is we acclimate to our identity. This is where this gets extremely powerful, okay? So a few weeks ago, guys, I mentioned we went to see the Harlem Wizards, right?
Yeah,
And
cool.
isn't that cool? Like the one guy there's flipped upside down. And it's so cool. We got to meet these guys, and there was like 6 of them that came to Valen's school. And
Aw.
it was so cute. And it's so funny. You could see the teacher there in the middle. That's Mr. Bailey. That's Valen's gym teacher. Mr. Bailey was the one who coordinated. Well, he coordinated a match between the teachers and the Harlem Wizards, and, and it was so awesome. Like we went to see him a couple weeks ago, and it was wicked cool because man, could these guys play? I mean,
Yeah.
they were like Michael Jordans in and of themselves. You know what I mean? But what was so cool is they kind of shared a bit about what they do. They travel together, they're training together, their families are all friends together. Like they're all like this huge cohort of awesome people. They're super funny too, actually. They're almost like comedians in
Yeah.
their skit that they do. It's so cool. Um, but the idea here is when you see how good they are, it's not a coincidence, right? They've trained together. They've acclimated themselves together to be amazing basketball players, right? And to watch them with the coaches, it was hilarious. Like they were on the floor dribbling and doing all sorts of crazy things. One this one person picked up a teacher and like carried her around and then scored with her on his back. It was it was hilarious. It was so cool. But you could tell like what type of cohesiveness they've created, as their team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up too, is karate, right? Karate is a great example of this too, and there's a little quote I want to share with you guys. A black belt is a white belt that never gave up.
Mm.
That's it. That's it. So when we talk about identity, you already are the person that you're becoming. And you're just the white belt version of yourself, right? When I was in this, you could see me and Anthony. Look at Anthony and
Oh my God,
Nicholas.
look how little they
Yeah,
are.
to the right here.
Oh my
They're
God.
they're few years younger, right?
Yeah.
We trained in 2018 to 2020. And so that's really what it is. But what the idea is we haven't continued training though. And I wanted to use this as the example, right? Why haven't we continued to train, right? We actually almost became black belts, but we haven't become a black belt yet. Why is that? This is one of the most important questions. Okay? But before we answer that, I want to I want to just explain to you guys really what's going on here and what it's going to take for you to reach your goals, whether they're monetary goals, whether they're health goals, whatever that is. Okay. And I use the money one here really quick. And I'm going to circle back to that karate idea of why haven't we continued karate actually? It's going to reveal to you why everybody doesn't reach their goals. It's going to be really cool. So, but here, I want to jump into this quick. Who am I? There's many layers of it, and all of the layers combine to give you the answer of who you are. Okay. Throughout this program, I've tried my best to uncover all the different layers. Okay. And it's with you, your self-worth, it's your deservability, it's with the idea of if you can or can't do something, right? It's all these things. But when you really truly own a strong money identity for yourself, it generally looks like this. Okay. You generally can explain yourself and describe yourself as a person who is amazing with money, with managing it, right? Who's acclimated to making a lot of it, having a lot of it, saving a lot of it, who sees opportunities everywhere and making more of it, who believes there's not in, that there is enough for everyone, right? And that's not a hang up of yours, like, oh, if I make a lot of money, it's going to take away from somebody else. No, we've got infinite money to be made here, right? And it's just, you could create it, right? Somebody who's comfortable around other people with it, who isn't worried about it or having enough of it because they know how to create it and they know exactly how to create it. So when you have a very strong money identity, these, amongst other ideas, will be thoughts and ways you describe yourself. Okay. So you can literally take this list from today, this week, and check yourself against it, right? Are you a person who is amazing with money, with managing it, making it, having it, saving it? If not, right, who do I have to become? What do I have to do now to become a person who is amazing with money, right? Who does see opportunities everywhere, right? I got to start to hang around other people who are talking it like that. That's why that's so powerful. Other people, and that's what I want to show you guys, right? They're doing things that are different than people who are not making a lot of money, actually, right? They're celebrating differently. They're on yachts and having lavish things that they're creating. If you're very wealthy, that's what those people are doing. And that's not to say like this doesn't have to be your goal or dream. I just want to give you the very end of it. Right? You can have billions of dollars and this is what those people are doing, right? And whether or not you want that, that's totally up to you, but that's going to reveal to you actually why you don't have it actually. And this is where we're alluding to here. I want to explain to you guys though, right? If you take Richard Branson, Oprah, the Kardashians, right? Rihanna, any of these people who are super successful, super wealthy, right? And if you took away all of their money, what do you think would happen actually? I want to just open up to see what you guys think. If you took away all of their money, literally they went bankrupt. What do you think would happen the month following that event for any one of these people?
I think they would find another way to make money. I think they would try a different business out, They'd look for other opportunities.
Yes.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Great answer, Ange, right? It's not the money in the bank that makes you wealthy. It's your relationship to it. It's
Mm.
who you are, right? You take Richard Branson and you take away all of his money, he'll be a millionaire the month following. With any other opportunity, with any wig, because he knows what to do. He knows how to look and create opportunities and more money, right? You take Oprah, all these other influencers. You take away all of their network. Guess what? They're going to create another one because they know and they've acclimated themselves to being an influencer, to being a person of impact. Case people like, oh, Kim Kardashian, she's a loser, she's not cool. No, she's learned how to become an influencer, right? All these people, it's not cut and dry as to the amount of money in their bank or the amount of people that they are connected to. It's that they've become the person that has created it. It's the person you're becoming, the journey you're on. That's the most important piece. It's not the end goal, actually. I mean, you guys, I'll be honest with you. You could create $10,000 today, It's really honestly not as hard as you'd think, but it's the person you become that gets to that point of creating 10K today or losing 10 pounds in 10 days, right? Or whatever
Mhm.
that looks like. It's the person you become that's able to do that, that is going to change the game for you. And that's who you guys are becoming, actually. You're realizing you can be that person right now, but what exactly does that person look like? And that's what we're uncovering throughout this program here for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So I want to give you the health side of things too. Again, this is like the two sides of the equation here, right? A person with a strong health identity is a person who is healthy, fit, and strong, who honors their body, who chooses to eat healthy more often than not, right? Who eats to live rather than lives to eat, right? Who is blessed by Mother Nature, right? For the fruits and vegetables she provides, who is a XYZ, right? Power lifter, runner, CrossFitter, trainer, walker, dog walker, hiker, swimmer, anything that you want. And this is where we're alluding to is who do you want to be?
Mm.
Right? And Angie, we uncovered you became a runner,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Monique, you were a power lifter, right? You are a power lifter still. Whether or not you're doing it, right?
Right. Right.
You are a power lifter or anything else you want to be. You could be anything else you want to be. So I want to share with you guys me. Okay, I haven't really quite talked about myself. I kind of give you little bullet points here and there. But these are my sub identities that create who I actually am. And it all comes down to why. It's the why, like who am I is directly related to my why actually. And so I want to explain this to you guys. So who am I at my core? I'm a dad. I'm a parent, right? And I wanted to become a dad because I realized I wanted to create a big loving family for myself. I always wanted it actually when I was a kid even, right? Before my dad died even. I wanted a nice happy family where we could kind of flourish together, you know? And then why did I choose to become a vegan or plant-based eater? That also was for my family. I want to be here for them as long as I can be. And I happened to do all the research and landed on that's the healthiest diet that we can be on is a plant-based diet. And and for longevity reasons, it's the healthiest one I've come across. And so I became a coach. Why? Why did I become a coach? Because I want to help people. I want to help people level up their life and achieve freedom for themselves. Right, and hopefully, I don't know if you guys can. I want to make sure you guys can see that.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay, cool. My thing is it's got something in the way of it, but that's all right. As
Oh,
long as you
okay.
guys can see it. Money, right? Why do I want to make more money for myself, right? It's not really about the money. It's actually about the ability to have more opportunities to create more experiences for myself and my family and my kids, right? All money is it just allows you more opportunities and choices, right? So it's not that I want a lot of money just to have a lot of money. It's the why behind it. What will it allow you to do actually? That's what I want to connect you guys to truly, because when you connect to that, now you've got some gusto behind the actions and habits you're going to start to create. Okay. It's just not enough to say, all right, well, I want to create $10,000, but why? Why do I want that? I want $10,000 a month. But why? What is it going to do for me? Well, it'll allow me to pay off my debt, to go on vacation, to do the things I really want to do. We are emotional beings. Okay. Money in and of itself doesn't create that level of depth of emotion that we need in order to really create it. We need to connect it to the next level. Okay. Same with health, actually, quite honestly, is you can work out for the surface level vanity reasons, but that's not actually enough, right? Because otherwise everyone would be healthy and fit and that type of thing. You got to do it for a stronger reason. My reason is my family, right? It just so happens eating plant-based also helps you lose weight, right? It's an easier way to lose weight actually as well. But the idea is I do it for my family. And and again, we're going to dissect some of this more. I would consider myself a power lifter. Okay. I didn't a few years ago when I first started, but I now believe I'm a power lifter and I'm doing good. I actually set a PR on my bench yesterday, which was
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. It's hard.
Oh, it is. It's so hard. It's so funny because 4 years ago, I did 215 for 2 sets of 5, and then a set of 3 was where I left off. And then I injured myself.
Mm,
And
Yeah.
then we had Rocco.
yeah.
So life kind of went like that. But guess what? I came back to it because I love it. And this is going to reveal to you guys what you need to do in order to achieve what you need to do. You've got to love it. You have got to love it. I'm a guitar player. Why? Because I love it. I love it. No one forced me to be one. I love it. In fact, people told me not to be one. Right? Hey, I don't care. I still play. I still love it. I'm gonna be in bands the rest of my life. I don't even care. I just love it. Right? I'll be 6 years old, rocking out. That's just me. And so it's why the why. Why I don't even know actually why that is actually. I just always loved music, right? I always loved it. I always loved the guitar in particular. I honestly don't know what happened there. I think it was just early on in my life, I just enjoyed music. So the idea is, and then you don't even need to know why. It's just if you love it, that's awesome. That's all you need to know. Okay. And of course, right, picture my family here. I mainly do things for them. I really do. I am going after and I'm building the business I want to build for them actually, so that they can take it over when I'm, in 10 years from now, and then we can do whatever we want. They can take it and go even further with it. But I'm doing it just for the greater good, quite honestly, and it starts with my family. Okay. And I mean, look at these kids, right? Like, look at these. I mean, this, if that can't drive you, right? I don't know what can, that type of thing. So the question is, guys, what is your why? What's your why, right? And truly, what is it that you desire, right? When you really, really answer this, you are going to be so damn successful. I'm here to tell you, nothing can stop you. Nothing's going to stop me from creating what I'm creating because I know how I want to impact the world. And it's being fueled by something that's next level. It's not me that's fueling it actually. It's my family. My dad actually is fueling it, right? My dad passing. I didn't share that, but being that my dad isn't here any longer, I want the world to know how awesome you could be as a human being, especially as a man, as a male figure in our world. I want people to know that you could be a loving, caring, empathetic, amazing human being as a male. And guess who taught me that? My dad. And I owe it to him to bring that out into the world, actually, and to show the world that yes, men can be amazingly awesome. We don't have to be alpha males. At times you can be, sure, but at times anyone can be. That's the idea, right? And it's channeling it in the right way, and it's the identity that you're developing, right? So those are my whys, okay? But this is at the core, you guys. This is where I want to bring you guys here today, okay? Whatever you choose, you must love it wholeheartedly. So if you choose that you want to make an extra 10K and you don't necessarily wholeheartedly want to do that, or you haven't connected the dots as to why you want to do that quite yet, you've got to do that before you'll ever make 10K. Truly, right? And I'm talking the next 10K. And it's more related to your business, right? Because if you're in a job already making 10K, then that's already created for you. But if you want to make an extra 10K, oops, I went ahead. If you want to make an extra 10K, that takes a different level of motivation to do and inspiration. What actually brings you there, though, is this idea is you've got to love doing it. I love being a coach. I will be a coach and do it for free. I don't care. I love it. And that's how you could tell. Like if you're connected when you could do things just because you want to do them. Like I play the guitar for hours. I'm not getting paid. I'm not even with my family at the time. In other words, I'm sacrificing everything else because I love it. I love it, right? And so the idea is really this core identity that we unveiled a few weeks back, right? Number one was love the life you live and live the life you love. That should be at the core of what you're creating, okay? And Monique, it's so cool because you have a very unique opportunity. And it's this idea where you can create anything right now, right?
Yes, yes. It's a little overwhelming
Yes,
because
it
because
is.
there's just it's any possibility. Like I feel it's weird. I almost feel like a child, where like I can discover whatever it is that I want to discover and go down any path and play, in any which way that I want to find out. But then you have the adult responsibilities of, well, you have bills to pay, so you got to kind of figure it out and you got to do something in the meantime. So it's like I'm in this really weird transitionary period where it's like I don't know where to start because I mean the possibilities are just endless, I guess.
It's, it is. It's easy to get into, over analysis, paralysis by analysis, right?
Yeah.
And when that happens, though, always come back to the idea that you are the creator, right? When Monet
Yeah.
creates a painting, it could be anything, could look anyway, right? Bob Ross creates a painting, right? Could be anything, but you choose it. And so the idea is you have this infinite buffet in front of you, but you can't eat everything.
Right.
You can only eat the things you love. And that's what I want you to do, right? I want you to figure out, all right, what would you love to create,
Yeah.
right? And honestly, start there. That's your best starting point. What would I love? I'm going to give you some really cool ideas too, right? Imagine that you are sitting around a campfire with your friends or family, okay? I want you to think about what could you talk about for hours on end that you just wouldn't even think about. Like just you just could talk about it all the time, you know? That's a good way to start this idea, right?
Mm.
If you had a vacation and you literally had nothing, you could do anything, right? You got a whole week vacation. What would you love to do? Right? What would you love to fill your time with? Those types of things will help you reveal what it is you love, right? And you start there. And again, it can evolve. Like you're a limitless being, so you can have, do, or be anything. So let's just say you love to paint, or you love to, you've got like your Etsy business, right?
Hmm.
You love to create certain things in particular. And really it's again, it can evolve, but you start where you're at with what comes immediately top of mind. Okay. For me, it's funny about where I'm at right now is I'm creating a membership business for my health program. And it's the path of least resistance for me, but I love it as well. But what I really would love to do in the world is help the future. Like I want to help get into kids and schools to help kids learn that they create the life that they are living actually. So that's going to be my next level. But I need to create a vehicle that monetarily will meet my immediate needs. And this is
Hmm.
what I was going to, I love kind of where you're at actually, because this will relate to you. So what I would do if I was you is I would sit down and be like, all right, what is it that I want to create? Like, what would I love to do? Well, what if I would love to have an apartment or live like in a cabin in the woods or something like it could be whatever, right? Live on a beach. First thing I would do is, all right, how much would that cost? Right? And you do a bit of research. How much would it cost to live in an apartment or on the beach or wherever, right? And then let's just say it costs you, I don't know, 1,500 bucks a month, okay, to be able to live there. So what I would do is, all right, I need to create at least $1,500, right, in order to live there. What else would I want though? Well, there's gonna be bills I gotta pay, right? There's other things. I want to have a phone. I want to have certain things. All right. Well, it's gonna cost me 3 grand a month. or you do the math, it could cost you whatever, it could cost you a little more. So now the next question is, all right, well, what could I do? What would I love to do that could also help me create $3,000 a month?
Mm.
And that's the way we should be creating our life, quite honestly. But what happens is people just go towards, all right, what would make me the most money? Right? That's what I did.
Yeah, me too.
That's exactly what I did when I first started, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, what I at least combined the two and said, all right, what am I good at that could make me a lot of money? And it was happened to be computers at the time, right? Computers, networking. This was 20 years ago. I happen to be a nerd. I happen to be good at it. And then it also could make you some good money. So I went down that direction for 20 years. Okay. Till I realized I didn't love that. Like I enjoyed it at the time, but there's always a reason, a season, and for a thing, right? That
Yeah.
was my season, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And that season is fizzled out. Now I'm a coach. And I really believe I'm going to be a coach the rest of my life because I love it. And there's endless possibilities with it, quite honestly, right? So does this make sense, Monique, this idea? And Angie, for you too?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. It comes down to you, what you love. You are creating a life that you love and you
Yeah.
want to love it, right? Like that's what it's all about. So I want to paint you guys the picture here, okay? The ultimate success blueprint looks like this. Number one, you've got to have a desire. You choose what it is that you want to create and you must love it, okay? Why? You've got to establish a deeper why. Why do I want to make more money? Well, it's going to allow me a life that I would love to live, right? It'll allow me the freedom to travel if that's what you love to do, to create more experiences for the kids or whatever, right? Like those are my reasons, right? But the idea is whatever it is for you, and there's no right or wrong. Nobody's judging you. That's a false idea. You can create anything because you want it. That could be your reason, actually, just because I want to create it. That could be that simple, actually. But the deeper it is and the more deeper the feeling it creates inside of your body, the more powerful it's going to become for you. They call it why power versus willpower. Your why power is connected to your identity, right? Willpower is just willpower. It's just you're strong-headed. You know what I mean? Testadura. You're just strong-minded. You're not strong enough though. I'm here to tell you. I don't care how strong your willpower is, it will not touch why power. Your why power it's 10 times more effective, right? I can't tell you how many times I had failed in with the business I'm in, with training and demolishing, getting injured, you know what I mean? But my why has powered me through. It just has, and it always will. I know it will always will. So the idea is you establish that for yourself. That's level 2. Level 3 is your identity shift. You need to acclimate yourself to that level, that identity of a wealthy person, of a successful business person, of a healthy, fit, and strong person, of a power lifter. Again, if you can get it to the level of it's got a descriptor, right? Hey, I am a power lifter. What does a power lifter look like? Well, they're training on a regular basis, heavy. They're training heavy or whatever that looks like for you or for your particular goals. They're eating healthy to support the body they're building and creating, right? You can't build muscle if you're eating garbage. You've got to have protein, healthy proteins, healthy carbs, right? All that stuff. It's you acclimate yourself to that identity. Okay. The environment will help you. Again, it's the fish swim together. The Harlem Wizards train together, right? The karate people train together. Powerlifters train together. I hope you guys get the point here, right? The most wealthiest people hang together and are doing the same types of things together. Okay. Action. You're just taking steps towards it and baby steps. And actually, the next slide, I believe, yeah, I want to skip here really quick. It's simple. It starts off just simple daily actions will lead to profound changes that we talked about last week, right? Again, this comes from the book The Slight Edge from Jeff Olson. Amazing book I read years ago, and it's still gold. Literally, you choose the apple in the moment versus the Big Mac, right? You choose the protein shake rather than the whatever. It's the idea of what you're choosing in the moment. It starts off small and doesn't look like it's a big deal, but over time it becomes a huge deal for you, right? So then what happens though is we've got to establish habits. And so we need to create routines that support those actions that we're taking on a regular basis. Angie, you are doing this, right? You've decided that you're not going to drink alcohol anymore and you're becoming a person who's sober, right?
Right.
Who doesn't drink, right? So, in order to support that, and this is what I want to bring you actually, is does a person who doesn't drink, are they looking to get non-alcoholic beer or wine? Right? Or are they just not drinking that at all?
Hmm.
Right? This is your next level to contemplate, right?
Hmm.
Is hey, if I don't drink, then it's not even a question. Like I'm not even thinking about beer or alcohol or wine, right? It's just
Right.
I just don't drink it anymore. So, but if at this point, your identity could be a person who drinks non-alcoholic beer. Because if you like the taste of it, or if you like the taste of wine, that's a
Hmm.
different story. Then that's what you want to choose. But if you don't even like the taste of it, you were only doing it just to get the buzz or the feeling you got from it, right?
Yeah.
Then boom, now you can choose something different as well. I hope that makes
Right.
sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same idea as like it's like you're vegan. It's not even I will never even it won't even cross my mind to eat meat actually. It just is not it's not part of my identity any longer. And did I used to eat meat at one point? Yeah, I did, but it just doesn't support my goals now. And so it's not even a question. So it's not that but that's the thing, right? Is if I enjoyed it, so I will have a veggie burger every so often because I did enjoy burgers. Like I like burgers, right? So it's all relative. And we get to choose. That's the coolest part of this whole thing. Okay, there's no right or wrong. It's just what supports the identity that I'm becoming or want to be. Okay,
Mhm.
hope that whole idea makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. One of the things we haven't talked about is reward. You guys, we've got lots of things that make us up, and significance and importance is one of them. And rewarding yourself for the actions you're taking is one of the biggest, most powerful ways to reinforce a new habit. Okay. And what I want to just say is it's even more important if you can reward the actions than it is the outcomes or the results. So it's great, and it is great to celebrate the result. Like if you did make 10K in 10 days, awesome. That's amazing. But what actions took you there? That's what I want you to really reward, right? So if you can, for instance, if you going out there to create $10,000 allowed you to go out there and help a bunch of people, though that action of helping the people is really what I want you to celebrate. Okay, that's the idea behind that. Okay, and then at the very tail end of this is love the journey. When you establish all seven of these ideas, and all eight of them actually, and you truly love this process, that's when you really get successful. Okay, and it doesn't matter what it is. You guys can make millions of dollars, quite honestly. You could lose all the weight you want, actually. You could do whatever you want. And so I want to bring you guys really quick. This is the bonus towards the end here. I'm gonna do an additional training that actually will go through and teach you guys exactly how to make a lot of money in our digital age right now, online, basically. And you can use it in lots of different ways for your particular businesses. Like I know you guys, in particular, your types of business, but I want to also expand your mind to other possibilities that you can make more money from. And I'm going to give you guys an additional training. So I wanted to ask you, I can record that separately and just send it your way, or we could have it as like a session as well if you wanted to for next week if you wanted to. That's totally up to you guys, however you want that.
Hmm.
So you let me know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm good with either or. I like the sessions or recording. It's whatever everyone else agrees to or whatever's easier for you.
okay. Awesome. Thank you, Monique. Yeah. It really is. It's totally up to you guys. I'll do whatever you like, and we can have more interaction so we can be more live if you want next week. Or again, I could just be right straight to the point with training on what it is, you know what I mean? That type of thing. And quite honestly, we could even do both if you guys want. So yeah. But this right here, like this was literally a quick Google search. 100 smart ways to make money. A lot of these are really great ideas, right? All it takes is one idea that you love. That's it. One idea that you love to create millions of dollars for you, actually. It's crazy to think about, right? And this just helps you jog your memory, helps you jog your brain for some ideas. And again, we're going to go even deeper with this bonus, okay? So let me come back to you guys here. And I guess I can move my thing out of the way. Okay. So you guys, I want to ask you, we're towards the end of our program here. With what you want to create, are you seeing how important your identity is in creating that thing?
Yes.
More so
Yes.
than I ever thought.
Yes. Yes. Right? Your identity is everything. It's going to determine who you're hanging around, right? As a power lifter, I'm actually not going to be hanging around runners or CrossFit athletes, or maybe CrossFit because they're similar, but I'm not going to be hanging around like anybody else. You're going to be hanging around your people, okay? So you've got to determine who are your people, okay? Who are you actually is the very first one. Who are you? And then who are you hanging around? Who are your people? I'm here to suggest, guys, your people are wealthy. They're good with money. Okay. They're business owners, entrepreneurs. Okay. They know how to create more value for people in the marketplace. Right. And and again, what I want to bring you to is this last idea. And I should have put this in the presentation, but I forgot to put it in. It's this last idea that on your way to where you're going, I want you to imagine it's like K through 12. Okay? It's like school. When you first identify the identity you want, you're kindergarten. You're at kindergarten with it, okay? It is 12th grade. So what happens is as you choose your new identity here, and that's a person of making millions of dollars or whatever that is, who's losing lots of weight or again, whatever it is in whatever area, when you choose it, there's basically K through 12. Okay. So what you want to do is, and maybe you're not kindergarten with it, maybe you're in third grade with it, right? But when you choose people in your peer group and the people, your environment that you're going to be around, I highly suggest choosing people who are higher grade than you, who are at grade at least 6 if you're at 3. Okay. It doesn't not to necessarily say that they need to be grade 12, billionaires or whatever, right? Or millionaires, but there's just to say people who've created what you've created. Okay. So in other words, if for me, I'll give you real life examples, right? I am looking to create 20K a month in my business. Okay. At first it seemed like a lot, but now as I become acclimated to making more money in it, it's very possible for me. Now I believe it is very possible for me. In fact, I believe I'm going to create it by the end of the year for myself with my new group coaching trainings and stuff, right? Because I know I can't be training one-on-one, and I've already made that identity shift. And now I know I'm going to be group coaching. And you guys were one of the very first groups officially with that. So thank you guys for being a part of that. That
Thank
means so
you.
much to me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun, quite honestly, and I would love to, even just keep it going, right? That was one of the things I want to talk about towards the very end here as we wrap up. But I'll mention that in just a few minutes. But the idea is, I've gotten into other programs with people who have already created what I'm looking to create, and they serve hundreds and if not thousands of people in their communities, and that's who I want to be around. So I've joined like these other mentorship programs. I'm actually in three. It's actually kind of crazy, but I'm in three other mentorship programs with people who are creating exactly what I'm looking to create. And I'm around people doing the same thing, and that's who I'm around now, all every day, every week. And it's already I've been around it for a couple months, and it's already second nature now. So I believe I've already become acclimated to it, and I'm looking very forward to serving a lot more people. So it's going to be awesome. But the idea is that's me for my business. Powerlifting wise, is I have a little mini team that we train every so often. I train by myself actually in my gym, but when I do train with other people, it's with them. And so we get together every other month basically type of thing to train together. So nothing big, and I'm not looking to become like, world champion powerlifter or anything, but that's what I've created for myself, right? I highly suggest, guys, that you think about this and think about it as from the standpoint of the fish, that analogy I showed you guys earlier. Those surface fish will never meet the deep level fish, even though we're all swimming in the same ocean, right? You'll never meet that other people though, because you're acclimated to whoever you're acclimated to. So the question is, who are you guys? Who do you guys want to be? And then who do you want to be acclimated to around? Because that's what you're creating. And those are the people you're going to be. It goes back to the idea, the quote, show me your friends and I'll show you who you're going to become, right? The
Mhm.
Albert Einstein quote.
Mhm.
You're the average of the 5 people you hang around most. That's from Jim Rohn, right? And then they're literally you if you're in a group of 10 people and 9 of the people are a certain way, you're the 10th person, right? It's just the way it works. So, what I want you guys to really think about today and at the end of this program, okay, is who do you want to be? What do you want to create and why? And then what environment do you need to create in order to fully support it? Okay. If you can answer those questions for yourself and you really, really get connected to that, man, are you guys going to crush your life? I'm telling you right now. And this is where I want to bring you is coming out of this 10-week program. I'm creating what I'm calling the Limitless Life program. It's going to be a brand new program, and it's my brand new flagship group coaching program, and it's going to be evergreen, meaning as people come in, there's no time frame. It's not 10 weeks, it's just you come in. You're going to be in the environment. You're going to be with people who want to create a limitless life for themselves in lots of different ways, but we're going to mainly be focusing on kind of what we did here in this one program. I wanted to see how that went, quite
Mhm.
honestly, with health and money. And it's kind of fun, actually. But for this one, it's going to be around freedom and what you need to do to create freedom for yourself in your life. And it's going to include healing past trauma because that's a huge part of it. It really is. Like to let go of your old identity, it's a very powerful idea. And that's what we're going to get into with Limitless Life. So it's going to be all encompassing. It's going to be permanent. Like I'm going to be running it as a group coaching every week, and it'll be my higher level group coaching. And I want to invite you guys into it. If you found a lot of value from this 10-week program, I just want to invite you guys into it because you guys are founding members as far as I'm concerned. And I would love to just continue on with the journey that we're doing here. And as I level up and we bring more people in, you guys can maybe help out eventually and become a coach, become, just a supplemental income or something like that for you, right? Because you've been through the program, and there will be more of a regimented program style for what we're getting into. with that other one. And that'll be kind of cool as well. So yeah, I wanted to at least let you guys know that that's coming. That's kind of where we're going from here.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm super pumped. Yeah. So you guys, this is the conclusion of our 10-week program.
Woohoo!
How does it sound? Yeah, like any questions? Let me know. Give me some feedback, guys.
Yeah.
No,
Tony, I thought it was awesome. I mean,
yeah.
I thought it was great. I feel really, I
Excellent.
kind of, full disclosure, came into this program not really knowing what my goals were. That's always been my problem.
Yeah.
But I think along the way, like, I think this whole like not drinking thing become a really important one to me, and one that I feel really good about. That before I wasn't sure I could do it, but now I'm sure I can do it. So I'm really happy that I discovered this, and that I'm doing so good. So and then on top of that, like, all of the things that you've talked about really, will help to reinforce like where I've been with my fitness journey, and like helping me to eat better. And there are lots of other things for me to tackle, but I feel like um, this is a first good step for me.
Excellent. Angie, I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing. Yes. Thank you for sharing. Monique, any feedback?
No, I mean, you just like always, like with the one-on-ones we had before this started, you just always ask these questions that I may not have asked myself, because I didn't want to do the work to sit there and try to figure it out. And you made me realize that if I don't do those things, nothing else is going to follow, because I've seen that, right? Like the way that my life has been going, like I've seen that if I don't invest in myself and I don't put the work into myself, then how can I expect myself or my environment to change? So you've just really kind of asked a lot of really powerful, important questions, in ways that made it seem, if this makes any sense, in ways that made it seem fun to want to answer them.
Yes. Totally. I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, actually. This should be a fun journey creating your goals
Yeah.
and going for the life that you're creating, right? And I love that you mentioned that. Thank you so much. That's huge.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
yes, my pleasure. It is the quality of your life is directly determined by the quality of the questions you're asking yourself, right?
Yeah.
And it's so powerful to ask yourself these deeper questions, because they reveal to you what is missing, right? The missing
Mhm.
piece.
Right.
Yeah. And I forgot totally, guys, that I'm going to be sending you guys, there's an interview with I just hired this guy. His name is Peter Sage. He actually was one of Tony Robbins's coaches for 15 years.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And he has his own thing now, and I love his teaching style and very much birds of a feather type of thing. And he's a great guy. He's also English. I love his accent. I'm just like mesmerized by his talking. Because again, you gotta love your coach and your trainer and your mentor and that type of thing. So I joined his program. It's a year-long program, which is gonna be so cool to be a part of for this coming year, because it's exactly what I'm creating for myself as well. Um, but there's an interview he does with one of his original students from about eight or 10 years ago. And I'm gonna send it your way. I'll put it in the app, link to it in the app.
Okay.
But I really want you guys to listen into it. It's probably like 30 minutes, and I might do the whole thing. It's 45 minutes for the whole thing, but it's super powerful. And it just really quick, it's this idea that he was a personal trainer, his one student there, and he was charging $50 an hour. And when he first connected with Peter, the student, his name is Tony Nicholson. When he first connected with Peter, one of the first questions Peter asked him was, "Why aren't you charging $500 an hour?" And Tony was like, "Well, I don't think people are going to pay that." And he said, "That's one of your very first limiting beliefs you got to change, right?" Because he was charging $50 an hour. And the question, it's a gold level question, $1 million question. Why aren't you charging $500 an hour? And then he went so far as to say, why aren't you charging $5,000 an hour? And in this interview, it's so powerful. But what you're going to realize is this guy, Tony Nicholson, ended up asking himself this question and he answered it for himself. And he became a celebrity personal trainer, charging $5,000 an hour. So there you go. From 50 bucks an hour, 5,000. And it only took a year or so, a couple years to get to that level. So it just
Wow.
goes to show you the level and the power your questions have for you, right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to send that your way, guys. So it'll be in the app. So take a listen into that. It'll be awesome. And then, of course, the bonus, we're going to do a bonus training. And if you guys are open to it, we can meet again next Thursday and just we could do it there if that works for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Let's do that. All right, cool. Excellent. All right, guys. So we'll plan on meeting next Thursday. And it'll be less of the type of program style we did and more like,
Sure.
hey, how to make a lot of money. Okay. Like that type of thing. It'll be more money oriented than it is health oriented as well.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys. So anything else for me before I let you go today?
No, thanks, Tone. This was great.
Yeah. Yeah. This was fun.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. You're awesome. And yeah, let's kick some butt this week, okay?
All right. Thanks, Tone.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Have an awesome weekend, you guys.
You
All right,
too,
you
guys.
too.
Bye.
Have a good one, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.